It is one of the most enduring images of all time.
It's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
The challenge to put a man on the moon had been issued only 8 years earlier, on May 25, 1961, in a bold speech by a newly elected president.
I believe that this nation should commit itself to achieving the goal, before this decade is out, of landing a man on the moon and returning him safely to the Earth.
To set the stage, in 1957, the Soviet Union launched Sputnik, the first artificial object ever placed into orbit around Earth. And only 1 month before Kennedy's speech, the Soviets celebrated another technological triumph. In April 1961, they sent the first man into space, Yuri Gagarin. 3 weeks later, an American followed suit, Alan Shepard.
On the periscope, what a beautiful view.
The space race was well underway. It is documented at the Smithsonian Air and Space Museum in Washington. Alan Needell, curator of the museum's Lunar Mission spacecraft collection, says technological superiority in space was also about swaying new nations on Earth.
The Soviet Union was providing a real challenge to American supremacy, and the fear was that most of these emerging countries, both in Latin America, in Asia, would choose the model of the Soviet system rather than the free market capitalist system that was favored by the United States.
At the time of Mr. Kennedy's speech, there were also issues at home.
It was the end of a recession which by recent standards wasn't as severe as the one that we're just passing, but it was severe in the context of the 1950s, which had been a period of really quite dramatic growth.
President Barack Obama recalled the early days of the space race earlier this year.
After investing in better research and education, we didn't just surpass the Soviets. We unleashed a wave of innovation that created new industries and millions of new jobs.
That wave of innovation sent men to the moon. Other presidents have set out grand challenges for space innovation, such as Ronald Reagan in 1984, as seen in this YouTube video.
We can follow our dreams to distant stars, living and working in space for peaceful economic and scientific gain. Tonight, I am directing NASA to develop a permanently manned space station and to do it within a decade.
It took a little longer than planned, but people have lived continuously on the International Space Station for the past decade, and the ISS is seen as an advancement for all mankind. That was also the case with the first moon landing, says Needell.
The vision of this being "We come in peace for all mankind" was developed and actually accepted all around the world, that this was a human accomplishment as much as it was a demonstration of American superiority.
And a giant leap for mankind. Suzanne Presto, VOA News.
Oh, geez, that's great. Is the lighting halfway decent?
Yes, indeed.